Hello everybody, my name is Sharlaine and today I will be doing a tutorial on Deviantart. This is specifically for teachers and how they could utilize Deviantart for their school activities like homework, how you assign it on here. Alright, so the things I'll be covering on this tutorial is how to make your own account, the things you could do here, basically the basics of the things that you can do with your account. Also, I'll be teaching teachers how to submit art, how to post text like literature for those who are teachers with the course of English, as well as some optional stuff such as making your own group so you will not be confused by the people all around the world who watch your account, as well as your students who will be looking to see all your updates and posts that you'll be putting on here. So let's get started. Okay, so before I start with going through anything right now, I would want to talk to you a bit about what DeviantArt is. Basically, this website is very artsy, so it allows one to express themselves to whatever they want, whether it's photography, drawing, writing. It's just a way for artists to express themselves, and whether it's good or bad, it doesn't really matter because there's at least someone in the world who will like what you did and feel the same way that you feel. So it's a very friendly website, and it's really has some supporting people on it, and it really brings up a nice atmosphere and a good working atmosphere to be posting your stuff on here. As you can see here, I'm already on the website, and the website is called deviantart.com. It's up over here, and it's also on this small tab over there. So as you can see here, there are already images that people have posted. These people have their own account, and they're able to share whatever they create, whether it be images such as these, or images such as these, which are types of literature. So this will be really useful if you are an English teacher and want to possibly type anything to your students, and they will be receiving that. So the types of literature here, you could be able to narrow it down as well, such as the poetry section over here, and all of these are types of poetry that you can be reading. I'll just click on one of them to show you, such as this section over here. So first things first, if you don't already have an account, we will be making one here for you today. You go on this Deviant login over here, and you click this section that says join DeviantArt for free. Now as you can see, it is for free, so you don't really have to pay for anything, and all you have to do is fill in this section over here, and after you're done with all of that, just click this button at the bottom that says become a deviant. Alright, so once you get your account running, you will see that your username is up here, and as you can see, mine is XXL Sympathy. Oh, speaking of which, your username, you can use your normal given name, or you could just use any other if you want to be anonymous and you don't really feel like putting your actual name there. So the things I'll be going through are just the necessary things that you would need to know. So over here on this little envelope, there will be a number beside it. Of course, there will not be any big numbers for you guys since you just started. So the thing that you would need to know here is the Deviant Watch messages, which would be the people that you follow, somewhat similar to a subscription on YouTube, or like on Facebook, or a follow on Twitter. On feedback messages, this is what your students will be giving to you. It's kind of like commenting on a YouTube video and such. And this correspondent messages is if you're willing to be making a group in the near future, somewhat like a club. Over on this section, it says submit. This is where you get to submit your art. This is where you are stashing away the type of documents or postings that you do not want to post right now. So you could save that in there, and a journal entry. The first thing I'd like to explain to you guys would be the Deviant Watch messages over here. I'll click that for you. Basically what Deviantart Watch is, I think I already explained it, but it is basically like a subscription on YouTube or like on Facebook. So this is how it will look like. You'll see a bunch of folders, and for example, let's say you already have followed some of your students and your students are also following you. You'll be able to see their work over here if this were your student's username. As you can see, it's in a folder, so this would mean a good thing if this were your student, because you'll see that they're making a lot of progress, and they could be also posting other things on here rather than just homework. So they could also use this for anything they want, whether it would just mean that they felt like drawing something and posting it on here just to be expressive, since it is their account. So I'll be teaching you guys how to dev watch as well. I'll just click over here. This is basically who the people that you're following, so it would be on your friends. This green circle over here means that they are online, and the red one over here means that they are away or busy at the moment, so they're not on the website, but they are on the internet. And over here, if the circle is white, that means they're not online. So I'll just be clicking a username, and the way that you dev watch, you see this button over here that says watching. At first it will say watch, so you'll click that and just look at all the information, then click OK. I'll show you an example. Let's say this picture, someone has drawn this. Just click on their username over here, and this will lead you to their profile page. So as you can see here, the previous one I showed you was green because I have been following them. So this one, since we have not been following them, it will just be gray and it will just say watch. You click that, and then you look at all of this. If you're okay with following them on the items of scraps, means the things that they are not really proud of but they just posted it on anyway, The deviations are the things that they post. Critiques are the things that they critiqued on, very straightforward. Activity is the things that they have been doing, whether it's changing their username or they are trying to advertise something. And journals and polls, they're basically the things that you see over here. That if they want, for example, to connect with their watchers, if they want to connect with their watchers and just leave them a little note saying something, that's basically what a journal is. So now I'll be teaching you guys feedback messages. These are basically comments that your followers or students will be giving you. This is also how they can connect with you. So if they have a question, if they're not sure on something, they'll be leaving a comment on your post, and then it will be sent right here on your feedback messages. Speaking of leaving notes, I just remembered there is another way in which they can connect to you, and it will be somewhat private, so then only you can see it if they are those type of students that really don't want to be public about their troubles, and I'll be showing you that. For example, say this were your account. The button after watch that says send a note, you can click that, and your student is able to leave any messages that they want and the title in which their message is concerned about, whether they are really having trouble on the project that they're doing and they don't want anybody else to know, or if they have a trip coming up and they won't make it to your class, they're able to send it on a note and it will be sent to you. You can send a note to them as well by doing the same process. And now let's go back to feedback messages. Now let's say that your comment box has become so full that you cannot control it any longer. You could just delete them by using this like small little X over here. You could delete that so you could be more organized and you won't be as confused. And the next thing I'd like to show you will be how you can see the notes that your students are sending to you. So the notes are over up here. And you'll be able to see them on this side. You can click whichever one you want. And you can reply over down here, since their message will be up here for you guys. And the last thing I would like to share with you on this tab is the correspondent messages. This one's a bit tricky to explain since you will be excuse me, you'll be accepting things if you're hosting a group. This is what you will have to be doing, or if one of the posts that you have, someone around the world has a group and they'd like to feature it. All you have to do is press the accept button there. It's a bit tricky to get a hang of, and I'll be explaining this group creation later on in this video. If you'd want to do that, it's not really necessary, but it would help a lot. one more thing before I'll move on to the next section, which is the submit section. One more thing before we go through that is the fact that you might not know their name, your student's name, since they will be also having a username. The solution is very simple, as I have explained it before. Let me just go to another picture over here, and I'll be explaining that. Alright, remember the send a note that I told you guys earlier? You can use that to confirm their name, so your students are able to send a note and say, this is who I am. I'm in your grade 11 class, for example, period. They'll give you your period, the day that you see them, and that will fix the problem clearly. So the next section I'll be teaching will be the submit tab over here. This will be one of the most straightforward explanations I will be giving. And over here we'll just click submit art. Now, as the tab already said, it's very self-explanatory. This is where you submit or post the type of works that you will want to share to your students. So over here, you can click choose a file, and your window will pop up over here, and you will be able to choose whatever file you want. This is mostly for pictures. I'll just give an example so you'll be able to see the rest. Make sure that you keep in mind that the pictures or text that you will be posting here have to be original or edited, so then it wouldn't have to go through copyright issues or saying that somebody has stolen your art, stolen the artwork, because that happens once in a while on this website. Not often, but just to be careful, you should just use your original one. Okay, so over here it says mature content. This would be no, and you can title it whatever you want. If it has to be related to what you're posting to, and you can write whatever you want over here and say, for example, this is what your students have to create, an example of a grayscale, for example, on this picture. So then you can write something related to that and what you expect from your class. And over here you must select a category for your posting. And after you're done all of this information, you could either save and exit, which will lead to your stash, and you're able to post that later on if you don't feel that it's the right time to be posting it, or you can click submit now. Another thing you can post will be text based, for example literature. All you have to do is click enter text here, and you can type whatever you wish. If you already have a document that has all your information, you can copy and paste onto here and then press OK. And you have to follow the necessary information like I went through in the posting of images. Another thing I'd like to show you guys is the stash system here. As I told you before in the tutorial, that the stash is basically a folder in which you could put all your posts and literature on here, and you can save it until you feel like posting it whenever you feel that it's the right time. So as you can see here, I already put the posts that I'm saving up to submit later on. The way you do this is you click upload file and you upload your file and just open, and that's basically it. And if you'd like to edit, just click on one of your items and you can type whatever you like if you feel like there's any spelling errors or anything like that. I don't really use this as much, but as a teacher, you might be using this a lot of the time. And whenever you're ready to submit this, just click submit and you're there. So the way that you actually get in there is the submit tab and just click stash and it'll just lead you right to there. No problems at all. It's pretty straightforward. Now that we have covered the basics, I will be showing you some optional stuff that you can do just to maybe polish your account for school usage, and that will be making your group. So this is the group that I have right now. As you can see, it's not really filled since I just made it recently. So in order to make your group, you just go on this little arrow on right next to the logo and click groups. And as you can see, there are already a bunch of groups here. You can join that if you wish. And our main goal here is to click this golden button over here and say make a group. It'll lead you to this page. All you have to do is pick a group name for yourself, whether it be something totally related to your school activity or it could be for anyone really. It's your option to join them or not, to have anybody join your group or not. And over here, just fill out the information of what your group is about, which will be anything school related, like this is a group for my class and only my class, so if you are not part of my class, you are not allowed to be logging in here. You can write that over here just for those accounts all over the world that may see your group and may want to join it. They will not join it, so because they know that this is only for your class. And then you just click make a group. It's pretty simple. You don't have to do it, but it would be pretty good considering that there are a lot of people that use this site. So if the people that are not in your class happen to follow you and you don't know them, and they see all your groups and they try to impersonate one of your students, then this group will be pretty fine. So it could help you divide those who follow you just for the fact that they like the stuff that you're posting, and dividing it with the students that are watching your post and actually getting a grade out of it. The other thing I'd like to show you is your profile page. You could do that by just clicking on your username over here and profile, or just clicking your username. So you can see here I have the deviations that I have put up over here. You can organize this however you wish, and your favorites if you happen to like anything on the website, and your journals over here. Speaking of journals, this is not really optional, but you could do it too. Just click write a journal over here, and you can type whatever you wish. It doesn't really matter. You could send a reminder to your students about what things are due, what you're expecting on this day, for those who have a trip and what they will be missing, anything like that. Now, this would be the perfect time to be narrowing things down. So basically, this website will be very useful for a specific course, which would be either visual arts or an English course. It would be very important for these teachers who teach these courses because, as you can see here already on the home page, there are a lot of images that can be posted for those in the art class, and there are folders as well that I showed in the beginning of this that can be useful for those of an English student over here. So I'll be talking about the visual arts side of this first, and then I will jump right into the English section. As you can see here on the homepage, there are a bunch of art that you could do, whether it could be photography, like these two over here, or digital art, traditional art, craftsmanship. All you have to do is take a picture, scan, make it into a JPEG, and then send it right off. It's very simple, and it would be much easier than bringing a model and then taking that all the way to your school from your house. If you were a student, that would take a really long time. Or if you forgot your art assignment at home, but you did take a picture of it, so you could just upload it on here. It would save a lot of time for your students and a lot of time for yourself. All you have to do is ask them, for example, if they're doing a model, just let them know that you have to take a picture of a 360 view, and I will be showing you an example of that. So here's a sculpture that someone has made. As you can see, it was taken a picture of from 3 different sides. For example, if this were your student, they have taken a picture of it and they won't be troubled by bringing it to school and having the possibility of it being damaged in any way. This will also leave you not as stressed because you'll know it's an actual original, because this site does not allow any copying or art thief art stealing, because it's not really fair that someone will take full credit of something that isn't really there. So there's no worry in that. And this will also help you determine that your student is actually doing the work, since they have sent this to you and may have posted it on the website. As I said previously, this is also focusing on the subject of English. So what this website is offering and is available for the subject of English is literature. And I'm sure you've seen this before in the beginning of this tutorial. This is very useful for subjects such as writing short stories or poetry, perhaps. Since it does have this poetry section, it is also able to provide any written scripts that you might be doing in the future. Maybe perhaps your assignment is to be doing a play if you are a student. And it is very simple to post this on here, and once again, it is gonna be your original, so teachers, you don't really need to stress, since it is original. And if it were to be plagiarized, it will be reported on this DeviantArt website, because they really do have a policy of, if it's not yours, either credit it to the actual people that made it, or don't even post it at all. This is very straightforward for the English course, since there's not much really to say about it, since it's basically typing what you wish and doing any assignment you like, whether it's creative writing, whether it's poetry, or anything like that. It's not really focused on fact-based things, but I am sure that you could still put that on here anyway. Alright, so I think I went through everything, I'm sure, but if you still have any questions, I'm they have a FAQ that you can type whatever questions that you have, just in case that I didn't cover it here or you're a bit confused about something. Also, if you still don't get it, you could rewatch this tutorial, or there's this little tour that you can take. You'll be able to find this tour after you log off from your account and you go back here on Deviant Login and look down and click Take the Tour. It'll have 6 steps and you'll be able to look through them, read, and after that tour you could just explore however you wanna go for it. And this will conclude my tutorial, and I hope you guys will take DeviantArt as a consideration to be used as a school site for posting images or typing up and posting any types of literature. And thanks.
A calm and cooling motion, it's shaking off my tension. Surprise, surprise, it's called being alive. The answers to my questions, repeating haven't mentioned. I lied, don't like the way I'm being tried. A lonely heart is what I'm slow